Skirt! Okay! Welcome to episode 1 of Nihongo Knowhow! We're gonna explore basic vowel sounds today! Woo! Yay! Okay, just so you know, I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna be learning every time for each weekly video. We're gonna go through what to learn, and then we're gonna go through exercises to help you learn these things and actually be able to speak. So today we're going to go over basic vowel sounds. If you already know some of these things, that's totally okay. That just means you're a little ahead of the game. We're going to progress at a very steady and slow pace so that each week you're not feeling overwhelmed. And over time, in the longer term, things won't compile so that you have so many things at once to remember. They'll kind of go into your longer term memory by the time you have to pick up something new. So you're always at a pretty healthy pace. You're not overloading yourself, if that makes any sense. Okay. So, we're going to go over basic vowel sounds today in Japanese. Oh, shoot, I hit the camera. I'm sorry. Did I hit you? Are you okay? Okay. Anyways, basic vowel sounds in Japanese. So, there are only 5 vowel sounds in Japanese. That's it, just 5. And the entire language revolves around these 5 vowel sounds. So, we're going to learn them today, and we're going to learn the Japanese characters for these basic 5 vowel sounds. So we're not going to learn any consonants like da or ka or sa, but we're going to be learning just the vowels like a. So that's actually where we're going to first start, which is a. I'm going to show you how to write it. You can write it with left or right hand, depending on which hand you want to use. With the left hand, it's going to look like this. You're going to have like a little smiley face. You're going to make a little curvy T. And you're going to bend it a little bit on the left side. And you're going to take a little mark here, just like that. Just a little down here. It doesn't have to be exact here, but around this area is good. Then from this point, you're going to go have a bend here. Then from this point, you're going to do a big old loop. Boom. Just like that. Now, it may not look exactly like this when you start, and that's okay. But we're going to go over the right hand part as well, if you're right-handed. I don't actually know if you write with your right or left hand, so I'm just going to do both for you today. So with the right hand, you're going to start same stroke order. It's just going to look a little different. Have that little smiley face, and again, it can look a little bit different. Each character is going to be a little different every time you draw it. That's okay. So we're going to have that little smiley face. Then we're going to make that little T on the left-hand side. I'm going to make that little mark here. And then from here, we're going to go a little straight down. And then we're going to make a big circle here. So, boom, boom. So that's a. This is a. Both of these are a. Doesn't matter which hand you draw them with, whatever one you feel the most comfortable with. Now, I'm not going to be using English letters for this one, just so that you get more familiar with these Japanese characters. And you begin to kind of associate the sound a with this symbol more quickly. So whenever I refer to the Japanese vowel sound a, I'm going to be talking about this symbol. So let me just make some clarifications with a. It may sound really, really simple. Okay, we're just learning a sound a. But it's not the same as in English exactly. And so I don't want you to think about it like the lowercase letter a or the capital letter A in English. But I want you to think about it as this symbol a, which is a very flat a sound. Listen to me say the sound for a little bit longer. A, a. A little higher. A, a. A little lower. A, a. Doesn't matter, right? But the sound is very flat. And it stops. It has a starting point and a stopping point, and my voice stays constant throughout that time. So it's not an or an it's an Every time you see this, think you're gonna have that flat sound. Okay? So say it with me a few times just for practice. Right? You turn. Say it again. Nice. Okay. And I'm just echoing when I think you're gonna say it, so you can pause the video if I'm interrupting you. I don't mean to interrupt you or anything, but just want to get that going through there first. Okay, so now you've learned the first character, which is a. Let's draw it one more time for memory, and I'm going to make it really big for you. So you start here with a little smiley face. Make a little lowercase t on the left-hand side. You get a little mark. You're going to draw a straight down here, past this area, and then you're going to make a big circle area just like this. And that is a. Okay, so now we've learned that one. We're going to go to the next vowel, and this one will be a little bit easier for you. A little simpler. Just 2 strokes. I know, two little strokes. Okay, so next character is the sound E. It's the second vowel sound, second basic vowel sound of a language. E. It's a really, really simple looking one, but there are a few things to make an authentic E. Number 1, we're not drawing parentheses, so it's not like wah, wah, like that, but we actually have like a little bit of a curvy L, I guess, or if you can think about the letter J and reverse it, it's kind of like that. And on the side here, we have a little bit of just a little tiny mark. You always want to make sure this bottom part is scooping, and this part is smaller than this part. So again, it's not a bunch of brackets or parentheses, but it's going to be that little scoop down here, and you make a little mark up here. Now, obviously, we do want these rounded. When you're drawing these characters, these are going to be in the hiragana alphabet. I'll teach you katakana later. But the hiragana alphabet is going to be always curvy and smooth and wah, 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 wah. So think about it a little bit like cursive. Now we'll do this one more time. I'll do it with the right hand so you can see. Like here, a little scoop. And we're going to draw a little bit up here. So again, you can see there's a little bit of variation with the width and height of things. The main thing to focus on is you have the scoop on one of them, and you have a little zip on the other one. Okay? So that is going to be the character E. Now, when I say E, same thing for Japanese. I want you to think about this letter and not like the letter I or the letter E or something like that. Just think about this character and associate that sound E with it. Okay? So it's going to be a very flat sound again. There's going to be a start and an end. And my voice is going to remain steady at this kind of note of sorts. So let's try to say it together, okay? E. Your turn. I'll go again. E. Your turn. And one more time. E. You say it. And you better be saying this. I'm going to find you if you don't. Okay, perfect. Nice. So we're going to make sure that this is a very flat sound. It's not E or E. It's E. I mean, that's not necessarily the flattest line. Let me make it look more flat. But you get the idea. Don't go up or down in your voice too much. Kind of maintain a little bit of a monotone feel. E, and you should be okay. So again, let's draw this character one more time really big, and then we'll move on to the next vowel. So here we go. I have that little scoop here, kind of like a backwards J. And then we're going to have that little zip up here. That is the letter E. All right, let's move on to the next vowel. We have covered almost half of it, because we found 2 out of 5 vowels, so we're almost there. You're doing great. All right. Oh, you can kind of see the page a little bit there. I'm going to flip it so you can't. So it's easier to focus on the proper things that we're reviewing. Okay, nice. So the next letter is going to be it. I'm going to show you how to write it. You're going to start with a little slant, like that. Then you're going to have a table right here, kind of flat-ish. Then you're going to go down, and then make a little bit of a whomp. That's it. Okay? That's how you draw it with the left hand. Let's go with the right hand now. Again, a little bit of a slant. Again, there's a little variation with how slanty you want it to be, but just the idea is it's slanted this way. Then we have a little table. And then from here, we're going to go straight down. Or not straight down, but diagonally down. A little bit of a scoop motion. I'm sorry. And then we're going to go whack. You don't have to make it so curvy. It can look a little bit more like that if you want. But that's the idea of it. You have the slant, you have the table, you have the scoop, and the whack. Okay? So let's draw it. Well, we'll draw it one time really big after we practice the sounds. But let's practice the sounds. Again, just like the other vowel sounds, I want you to think about the sound you're making as a starting and end point, and I want you to keep that tone as monotone as you can. I don't want it or it. We want it. That's correct, right? All right, so let's practice saying it. I will say it, and then you say it. 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 Okay. Now, I'm assuming you're following along and actually participating and saying those sounds, which I hope you are, because it's good, and it's very important to practice them with your own voice so that you get comfortable with those sounds. But yeah, I'm just going to assume you did that. So, yeah. Now let's draw it one more time really big. So we have that little slant here. We have this table. You can kind of go up with it a little bit if you want. It can be flat too. It's okay. And scoop down and make a little wah. That is it. It. Nice! You have 3 out of those 5 vowels learned. So let's move on to the last 2. And these ones are pretty simple. Or at least this one I'm about to show you is really simple. Wah. Okay. This next sound is Now, it's really easy to draw, so I'll just teach you right now. You just make that little same slant as the it, but instead of making a table, you literally just make a little horseshoe symbol. And it goes underneath here. And that's I'm gonna draw it with the right hand as well. You make that little slant. No table, this time just a little horseshoe. Same as last time, I want you to think about the sound with a starting and ending point and keep that voice monotone. Now, what's really important to note here when you're saying is I don't want you to purse your lips, which means I don't want your mouth shape with your lips to be like that. When you're like, this is your face and this is your nose, and then here's your facial hair or something. And I don't want you to go like this when you're saying that, okay? That is a no-go. We cannot do this. Otherwise, it'll sound like ooh, ooh. It's not the sound. Ooh is a completely different sound. That's in Korean, but it's not in Japanese. So don't make the ooh sound. You're gonna make your mouth kind of flat. Kind of like think about your lips, like this is your bottom and top lip, and there's a space in between. Have a little bit of an empty space between your lips and have your lips kind of relaxed or flat, if that makes any sense. And make the sound It's kind of like you're making, I don't know, what's a good comparison here? Like, ugh, you know, like you're complaining, ugh. Relax your mouth, relax your vocal cords a little bit. Don't really try to make too much of a shape with it, especially not this ooh shape. You don't want ooh, you want Okay? So practice a little bit until you get that sound. I'm going to go take you through a few times we're saying that, okay? So, Nice. Okay. Now, let's go over how to draw it one more time, really big. Right? You're going to make that little slant, and then you're going to make a horseshoe, and you're done! That's great! Now we just have one left. Okay, cool. And this one is, I mean, it's not as simple as but it is easier to say, and it has a few extra strokes. So let's just go over it, huh? Okay, the next sound is o. Now this time, I do want you to purse your lips a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a complete O, but it can be like, you know, open, like this, you know, where you're like, oh. That's the sound we're gonna make. Okay, now, first, before I go over that sound with you, I went a little bit ahead of myself, I'm sorry. We're gonna go with how to draw it. So, you're gonna go with a flat line, just like that. And you're gonna go with another straight down line, just like that. All right, so it looks like the letter T or a cross, I guess. Then you're gonna go from here, and you're gonna do that little loop we did in the symbol, but it's gonna be more round. I want it to be more of an oval, okay? So you know, wah, wah, wah. And then the last part is just make that little slant character on the side. This is O. I will show you with the right hand as well, so that you know both ways. Straight line, straight line. You're gonna make an that little circle there, and an O. Now, I want you to make sure that when you're drawing this little circle, it's not like that or something. It's going to be more like an oval this way. It's going to be more of like this kind of, I don't know what that is. There's a word for that. But basically, if you think about it in a grid, I want you to keep it in the lower half of the grid over here. I don't want it to go up here or up here. Okay? So we're going to go over one more time. Straight, straight, bendy, and then, okay? So, let's go over that sound again. Again, I want to keep it monotone. Don't go oh or oh. All right, we can worry about that later when you want to put more emphasis and emotion in your voice. But to get the very basic sound first, I just want you to move with it in monotone. Okay? So it's going to be oh again, kind of have like an kind of an O sound in your O shape. Sorry, not O sound, O shape in your lips. It doesn't have to be exactly an O, but open and kind of relaxed. Okay? Oh, 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 like oh, 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 you know, like that. So oh, oh. You go. I'll go. Oh, you go. One more time. Oh. Nice! All right, let's go and draw this in a really big way and say the sound one more time for memory purposes. All right, here we go. Ready? Squat. Straight line. Squat. Straight line. And we're going to make a circle in the bottom half. Oh, very nice. And then we're just going to go on. And that is oh, oh. All right, you've gone over the 5 basic vowel sounds, and now you even know the characters for them too. We're gonna make some words with these, and these are just gonna be some very basic words, and I want you to practice saying them with me, okay? All right, so this is one you should probably already know, because you say it a lot too, I'm guessing, but it's oi. So we're gonna do the o. Remember the E character? That little swamp, that two-stroke one. A little backwards J, one movement, all right? This is oi. Same thing as when you say oi to someone and say, oi, what you doing? You know, oi. So careful when you use this. It's a little informal, a little casual. If you say it to someone in authority, they're probably going to be like, you disrespecting me. I'm going to find you. I'm going to plant cucumbers in your garden when you're not looking or something like that. And we don't want that unless you really want cucumbers in your garden, I guess. But anyways, oi. Another one is ai. And also, by the way, just so you know, we're going to go over this later more in detail. But when you say oi, I don't want it oi. It's oi. 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 So if you think about a note, the note starts here, o. And when you say e, you say e at a lower pitch. So o flat here, e. Oi. 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 Like that. Okay? Next, in that same kind of up-down pattern, is I. I remember how to draw that. Hopefully you know, but I'll go with it one more time. Make that little bendy letter T in the left-hand side. Make that little mark. And then we're going to go make that little circly ovally thingy there. All right? And then we're going to draw E as well. All right? There's I. A-E. A-E. I. Right? I. That means love. And there's a kanji for it, which is very complicated, but I'm just going to teach you the basic letters for it. So oi is like hey, informal. I is love. You can try saying oi and I with me. Oi. Oi. You go. Okay, I'm assuming you said it. You better have said it. Then I. I. You go. Very nice. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to do 2 more words with you. One is oui. Oui. I kind of said it a little strange, but oui. This is actually from the French word oui. You know, like the oui, like oui baguette, you know? So this is a loan word. So we've transformed this back into Japanese now, from French to Japanese, and their version of saying that is oui. Now, obviously, if you go to a French person, say oui, okay, or however you're supposed to say it, but we talk about Japanese here, okay? We're not looking French. So we're gonna go to the Japanese version of it. It's oui, 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 and oui. Kind of say it a little fast. Not a big deal if you say it slow. All right, one more time with me. Oui. Okay, that was 2 more times, but you get my point. Now, lastly, to use that final character that we haven't covered yet in review, we're gonna go with a. That little mark, table, squish, e, e, a, 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 a. And that's kind of like a ha, sound. It's a more of like a feminine thing, but guys can sometimes say it too. But think about when, I don't know if you play any games that are like anime related, when a female character kind of swings their sword and they're going like, ah, they go, ay, or something like that. That was loud as heck, but you get my point. Ay, like, ugh, gah, whew, well, that's the Japanese version of that. Ay, ay, ay. All right, say it with me. Ay, ay. Okay, now you've learned 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and you've learned 5 vowel sounds in Japanese. You have done a fantastic job. Great work. I'm very proud of you. And I want you to practice saying these vowels at least once every day. Take a moment to say a, I, U, E, O, and think about kind of keeping that, starting and end point, and try to keep it a little flat there, okay? All right, I'm going to trust you to do these. I'm trusting you to take this seriously, or, I don't know if seriously is the right word. I'm not a very serious person, but, we're going to practice this and we're going to get better at it together, right? And that can only happen if you do your part and I do my part too. So I've done my part, you do your part, and I'll see you in the next one!